This story I will tell is about Gene LeBell. He was the greatest fighter that the world ever knew. You could travel everywhere, but never would you find a man who could throw Gene LeBell. Big Gene stood alone, for a mighty man was he. The battles on the judo mats were an awesome sight to see. He took them one by one and he drove them all away. In the dojos of the world he was the king. His legs were as strong as an oak tree, so they say. His skin was thick as leather, his eyes quick and small. There never was a man who was born with a fighter's hand who could ever be a match for Gene LeBell. Along came a man, Model Savage was his name. His fists were strong as iron, and boxing was his game. He claimed the martial arts were no match for his skill, until he met the man, Gene LeBell. 4 rounds did they fight, to the death so it seemed. 2 giants dealing deadly blows to see who would be king. The crowd held its breath, for what would happen then was sure to change the thoughts of many men. In a moment it was done, Model Savage made no sound. Gene blocked his punch and choked him out and threw him to the ground. In victory he stood with his foot upon the man who had dared to raise his hand to LeBell.
People love to make up shit. I was reading up all the shit that Stiven Sigal's made up all through his career, because there's a whole thing going on right now where Stiven Sigal
verified story about when Gene LeBell and Stiven Sigal had a
that's a true story. Yeah. That's an absolute true story. Gene LeBell told me that story.
Yeah. Gene tells you it like this. He doesn't actually tell you the whole story.
What's the story?
Well, you know, Stiven was trying to say that no one could choke him out. You can't choke him out. He had this move. This move will stop you from choking out. So, you know, I was like, all right, Stiven, let's try it. And I get him in a headlock there. I get him in the rear naked. And he takes this hand, the free hand, and then you just karate chops me right in, you know, the old sisters. And there's like, you know, the way Gene LeBell talks, right. He wouldn't even say his balls. He's like... After doing that, and he just fell asleep. And I guess maybe he forgot to go to the bathroom, so he went to the bathroom then.
Oh, that's hilarious. Holy shit.
And if you know Gene LeBell is like, first of all, he was like one of the original mixed martial artists. He's a judo guy that had cage fights, or wasn't a cage. It was basically a mixed rules fight where he fought a boxer. You know, he fought a boxer with his judo gi on and just took the boxer down and beat his ass. You know, Gene was like, he's like the guy that taught Bruce Lee about grappling. You know, Bruce Lee back in the day thought you could just karate kick everybody in the head and that was the shit, you know? Right. And Bruce Lee actually worked on a lot of like more effective things like leg kicks and short range techniques, Wing Chun and boxing punches and stuff like that. But he really wasn't aware about grappling until he hooked up with Gene LeBell. And Gene LeBell's a fucking gorilla. He's just, you know, national champion judo player, and he's just so fucking ridiculously strong that I'm sure he grabbed that little 135-pound Chinese man and had him fucking shit in his pants going, okay, now we learn grapple. You know what I mean? You had to learn grappling after you fucked around with Gene LeBell.
My name is Gene LeBell. We have a school here in California, Burbank, California. But he gave a demonstration. It was the best I have ever seen. This man is wonderful. His techniques are flawless. I'm going to learn all his techniques, and I'm going to be good looking just like this man here. Champion. Number one. Master. Number one. Thank you very much. Very good.